With the long-awaited release of the Yub Nub and the Ichiwama Ewok box sets now for Star Wars Shatterpoint, hobbyists are now being given the first actual reason and need to create some awesome-looking scenic bases. Now, there's nothing wrong with the standard bases you get in the Shatterpoint boxes as they come, and I've been using them predominantly myself. But with all the tree detail on these wonderful new little murder bears, I thought it was time to try something a little bit different that better suited the forest moon of Endor. Hi, I'm Tom from Planet Mithril and welcome to my quick and easy Endor basing tutorial. Now, I've always said that basing and scenery tends to be where I kind of fall short as a hobbyist. My skill area lies more in the actual painting of a model rather than in what they're standing on, scenery, terrain, that kind of thing. And seeing some of the absolutely amazing scenic bases that some people have already done for their Shatterpoint models, I wanted to try and dip my toe a little bit more, be a little bit braver, put my big hobby pants on and use these Ewok boxes as inspiration to try some little scenic bases. So I have a super quick and easy to follow tutorial which will give you bases that look like they're plucked straight from the Californian redwood forest used in the films. Okay, so you can see I have my finished murder bear wicket sitting here atop a scenic log, looking rather out of place with this log protruding out from the sheer smooth surface of what is obviously some kind of facility or spaceship. We're going to change that very quickly. My first step is to cover the entire base with a thick coat of Citadel Technical Sterling mud. Now, I'm talking liberal here. You want to really glob this on, at least I did. Taking the time to spread this around the base with a flat tool, working up to the base of the trunk and over all the details on the base. This is going to look quite round and untextured when dry, so when the paint gets slightly claggy and tacky, you can go through the Sterling with a brush or texture tool and just mix the paint up before it fully sets. The more liberal you are with applying the texture paint means the more potential room you have to sculpt it before it fully dries. This will allow you to create some unique texture within the mud to create footprints, streak marks or disturbed earth, however you want your base to look. Okay, now you can see that the texture paint has dried fully and I have some really nice definition over the surface of the base, the disturbed earth and mud of a battlefield on the planet of Endor. Now it's time to paint. I'm going to start by applying a fairly heavy dry brush using Gawthor Brown, applied with a medium dry brush, all over the surface of the base. The more texture you worked up in the mud, the better this paint will take. You can see it's catching on all the raised grain and giving me a really lovely upper texture to my muddy surface. With this initial dry brush now in place and fully dry, I'm going to apply another dry brush over the top now, this time using, well, you guessed it, pallid witch flesh, or alternatively ushabti bone or any kind of rich, light beige, depending on how rich you want your topsoil for your base. This I'm applying in a much lighter fashion, letting this just catch the uppermost areas on the base and allowing the darker brown and Gawthor layer to come through, creating natural depth and finishing off the texture for the bulk of the mud. Now you can see with a little bit of texture paint and a few very quick light dry brushes, I've completely changed the look and feel of Wicket's base. He's looking a lot more at home now, but wait, we're not done just yet. Now I'm going to be adding some extra base details using shrubs, lichen, rocks and leaves, and fixing these to the base with PVA glue. Now I am being a bit heavy-handed here, as clump foliage does tend to absorb some of the glue, so if you want a secure fix, I'd recommend just applying a little bit more glue to the base. Now you can see I'm adding quite large clumps of foliage to the base where I've marked with my PVA glue. You have the freedom here to add as much or as little as you like, depending on how busy you want your finished base to be. I would recommend though, after every application, just pressing down lightly on the foliage with a flat edge tool just to help it bond to the surface of the base a little bit better. I'm adding spots of lichen to the base, mainly just as a spot colour to break up the monotony of all the green. A little of this goes a long way, and I'm trying here to disguise the main stem of the lichen clump that I have by manoeuvring it either in or behind the bushes. You can see here now I have my base textured and decorated exactly how I want. I have also added a few extra rocks, which are simple offcuts of cork and a few scatterings of miniature dead leaves just to help reinforce the look of the Endor undergrowth. Really creative license could take over here, and you can do whatever you want, add or take away as much or as little as you want to really bring character to your Endor bases yourself. The next step is to paint the rim of the base. I'm going to apply a thin line of Citadel Dryad bark just around the horizontal lip of the inner base. This just reinforces the under-earth. The final step is to carefully paint the outer rim of the base with Abaddon Black, being very careful when it comes to the top area, not to bleed out onto the Dryad bark, but it's easily fixable if you do. And there you go, a quick and easy Endor themed base to help bring all your Ewoks and Leia to life on the tabletop. You can see that even with all this on the base, that your Ewok stands tall and prominent over the top and is still very much the feature of the model, mainly in part to the scenic trees that provide that little elevation above the shrubbery. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Please remember to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell. And until next time guys, take care and happy hobbying. Bye guys.